Hi guys, welcome to my channel. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Jerry and I'm a real life 737 captain. This is my first video playing a simulator, and that's actually XPlane-11 with the 737 Zibo mode, which looks, to be honest, it looks pretty amazing. Okay, I flew for a couple of airlines. Most recently, I flew 737 in Ryanair, so we're gonna do the Ryanair flight from Wroclaw to Gdansk. I do have the checklists, I do have flight plans, and you can find them in the comments. So basically, in real life, as a pilot flying, you can arrive in the airplane and you'll see something in a state like this. So it's cold and dark. Everything is off and extinguished. So the first thing, of course, you would do, you would check the documents that are here, the logbooks and the aircraft documentation, everything. But obviously you can do it in the sim. After which we go to the initial pre-flight preparations. So let's go and take a look at the overhead panel. We start with the battery on. Close the guards, and all the lights come on, and it's still operating at the sea, so we need to get it some ground power. Once we get the ground power, the systems will start to initialize, and what we usually do, I would move to the aft overhead panel and switch the IRSs to nav, as they take a long time to align. On the sea, goes back to align, goes back to align. And since they both on the line now, we can go further and turn on the yaw damper. And we go from the left to the right, setting all the systems up. So the yaw damper, nav transfer display switches are all normal. The fuel crossfeed, we check it open and closed. We turn on the fuel pumps. That's depending on the company. Some companies leave them off and some switch them on straight away. And Ryanair is doing this one, so just leave it like this. The cabin with the car bars are on, the ground bar is available, it's on the bus, and then we can give it some light as well, so we see the switches and buttons a bit more. Equipment cooling is normal, emergency lights are armed, the no smoking sign is on, fasten belts are actually on off at this point. Then we go to window heat, which we switch on. The probe heat is off yet, and the hydraulic pumps. Hydraulic pumps, that's depending on the airline, that's still off or on. Ryanair will switch them on, so I do so as well. The trimmer has to be on, packs are off, isolation valve is open, and bleeds are set. We're gonna be cruising at 26,000 feet, and the field elevation is round-ish 350 feet, which is set. Then you go down to lights, it's all should be all off, engine start, both on, ignition right, that's the first flight of the day, it's still night, so no logo. Position lights are steady, and the wheel well for the co-pilot doing the pre-flight inspection. That's basically that. Then we go to the center console, and what we do, we check the signals. If it's sounding, we check the parking brake is set, flaps are up and they're matching. And then we can go to the panel, give it some light as well, so we can see at least something. And we can do the fire test. So fire test is on default, and we check the squeaks, they are all in, and the carbon fire test as well. We initially set the radios, not much to set in here, so the frequencies, I won't use the frequencies today. I need to learn FATSIM, I guess, but not gonna do today. And monitoring 1 to 1.5 on the second box, and we check if the sound boxes are on as well. Transponder squawk is in, it's on standby, and that's pretty much done. Once we finish that one, we can go back to the seat, adjust the seat, check the oxygens, and check the oxygen quantity back in there. It's just above 1000. 1000 is enough for 3 crew. Usually for flights less than 5 hours, and we're gonna go for 45 minutes, so more than enough for today. And now we have to set some panel lights as well here, so I go with bright on main panel. Background and floodlight. Yeah, I don't need the floodlight, to be honest. Since then I can set the MCP. I'm gonna use the terrain and airports. A lot of people asking why do we use terrain, and terrain doesn't trigger the weather radar itself. It's just a database, so it's safe for the crew on the ground. And on the FO sides, it's gonna be terrain, airports, and this is going to hectopascals. This is going to baro. And on my side, hectopascals and baro as well. And the elevation is 400. I will double check in a minute. And the minimums, we usually set the minimums for the MFRA. So 1000 feet above the airfield, usually. Not reset, but yeah. Sorry, I'm still a bit learning this airplane. The elevation is 1410. I mean, the elevation is 410. The MFRA gonna be 1410, and that is set. Flight director is going to be on, and initial expected altitude is 6000, so I set 6100. Since I done this one, I can move down to the FMC. And nav data out of date. I'm not gonna bother with that one today. So I'm gonna clear the message. FMC model SN737800 Whiskey 26K is engine rating, and position initialization Echo Papa Whiskey Romeo. Enter. The gate really doesn't matter, it doesn't really have the correct data, so I go to the next page, I copy the GPS left, which is the captain side, that's usually the most correct position, and I set it as an IRS position. Since I did it, the position should pop up in any time now. Then I go to route, and I do have a flight plan that's generated flight plan, and you can find a link to it in the comments, or actually, yeah, in the comments I will post the link. So I'm going to from Wroclaw to Gdansk, Echo Papa Golf Delta. The call sign is gonna be, the flight plan is saying Romeo Yankee Romeo 5030, Romeo Yankee Romeo 5030. It's in. Runway is 29er in here. Then we go to the next page, and the routing. Routing, that's short flights, very simple routing. First point is Gdansk. That's gonna be via SID, which I set in a second. Then Lima 617. 617 inbound to Adva. Yes, sir. And then Papa 733 into Irlun. And that's the route to Gdansk. It's activated departure from runway 29er. It's gonna be Sidna 1 kilo, and expected runway in Gdansk is ILS 29er. I go Delta 903, and we arrive via Irlun, so Irlun 2 Tango in this case. That's in. go to legs. I check if do I have any discontinuities. It should be fine. Looks good to me. And these 2 points are hard altitudes, which I don't need. I can have 3000 above and 3000 above. It's actually quite amazing how this sim works. It's like everything is like real airplane. And I leave it not executed yet. And what else? I think I forgot about the passengers and payload. How do we look like outside? Yes, we look like this. We have the open door, and as this, there are some planes as well. So, fuel I need for this flight. As a flight plan, I need 5.6. I do have 4 tons. Yes, I need to call the fuel truck. So, fuel weight balance, I guess, fuel truck call. Okay, payload, maybe payload, fuel, yes, fuel. 5,600, so I take 100 extra just in case, 5,700. And it should start fueling, we'll see it in a moment. And yes, that's it, back, fuel truck call. Should be on the way. Let's take a look on it. Yeah, the guy is here, and he looks like he's doing something. So, is he actually fueling the airplane? Yeah, the fuel is rising, so that's something already. The payload I have set before, and we can go start flight leg. So they start boarding, and yeah, sorry for that. I go back to the FMC again. I did the routing. And what else I should do is the performance. So the cost index we're using is almost always 6, and the flight plan is saying cost index 6. We start from the left bottom, we go up always, and then to right and down. So cost index is 6. Reserves we need 2.4 to go to Bydgoszcz, which is our first alternate. Zero fuel weight, the expected zero fuel weight in this case is 60.9. So to be on the safe side, I use 61. Fuel we need 5.6. It's still fueling. I can use the plan, but then I have to remember to remove it. 5.7, 5.7, and the gross weight.
Guys, the wheels on board.
Actually, the real airplane would use the weight from the plan, not from this one, so I just delete it. And 3 flight level, the flight plan is saying 280 and 280. The wind in this level is 221 by 47, 221 by 47. I'm using the real world weather, and we'll see how that works. ISO deviation, that's quite good for performance calculations, is +8. Some operators put as deviation, some operators put it as a top of line temperature. And since that's done, we have the speed limits in here, but we don't mess with that today. N1 limit, and that's basically will be done with the performance in a second. Takeoff, we're gonna use flaps 5. CG is around 24-ish. Trim is gonna be 5 units. I will check it in the computer in a second anyway. And basically that's it. Since we don't have the dashes here, it's saying takeoff. It's the FMC pre-flight is completed. So at this stage, we're usually boarding the passengers. We're usually fueling. Yeah, the fueling is finished. We have 5.720, and we go to progress page. Yes, that's matching 5.7. So since it's matching, we can get the seatbelt sign on as well, so everybody else can finish fueling.
Captain Hatch on the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until all carrying items are properly put away, all overhead bins are closed, and all passengers are seated.
So I'm gonna post the link in the comments for the checklist that I'm using. So safety inspection, surface shocks, are checked. Maintenance status is checked. Battery is on. Yeah, obviously it's on because everything's powered. But that's the checklist point. Sorry, I'm on the wrong side now. Yes, battery is on. Electric pumps are on. Landing gear lever is down. Force is down. Ship's library is checked. That's safety inspection is checked. It's completed. Before start checklist, air small selectors are nav. Gear pins removed, and we do check them. They would be hanging just in here, 3 of them. So we check if they are removed. Light test is checked, so the light test is here. I forgotten about the light test, to be honest. Shite. And we checked if all the lights are illuminated on the whole panels, and it's illuminating all the lights except the fire warnings, 3 of them. And that's checked. We go back to normal. Okay, oxygen test 1%, yield damper is on. Nav transfer display switches are normal and auto. And fuel, we need 5.6, we have 5.720, and we have 4 pumps are on as we don't have any center fuel. Cabin power switches are on. Emergency lights armed, fasten bolts are on. Window heat on, air compress, packs auto. Yes, packs auto, bleeds on. And it's set, we have to check if this is in auto, definitely. What else? Precision mode selector, auto instruments are cross-checked, and auto brake, RTO, hydraulics, normal, speed brake is down to 10, so we do speed brake down to 10 to check if it's actually sounding, and go back to idle. Parking brake set, start cut switches are normal, and if we don't put them, it won't engage the autopilot later on. That's quite a common mistake sometimes in the maintenance. And wheel fire warning is checked, race run transponder, set standby, idle and trims 3 and 0. We do check these trims before the effort flight, this and these 2 anyway, so yes, that's all checked. And holding on the PA, so usually that place I will do the PA. I saw that it has some kind of PA in here, PA system, welcome captain. We'll see how it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the flight deck, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company, and we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Since we have done the PA, we can go and pick up the weather. I forgot to do totally for the weather. TVNS, we go to charts. Come on, just go to charts. Wroclaw. And Wroclaw, next page. And the SID or something. How does it work like? Gdansk, no, I don't need Gdansk, I need to have Wroclaw. So, Gdansk, what is this? Yeah, it's just cycling through the Katowice, Warsaw, and that's Wroclaw, and now I want to turn pages, I'm going to turn pages. Okay, that's the turn page. Noise and procedures we know, and SID, that's arrivals, that's arrival, SID, that's Xidna SID from runway 11, we need runway 29er, that's the one we're gonna be looking for. And yes, so Xidna, SID. Whenever you're gonna be ready for briefing, I would say the briefing is it's pretty simple. So we would start usually doing the route check. So since everything is done, I go to route, and the co-pilot or pilot monitoring actually would read the route. Assuming Kilometer 5030 from Wroclaw, Echo Papa is Kilometer Echo Papa Golf Delta. And then the routing is Xidna 1 Alpha, it's Xidna 1 Kilo to Xidna, then Lima 617 to Antwerp, Papa 733 to Elon, and then Elon arrival to runway 29, and the total distance is 283, and here is saying 276. The minimum fuel is 24, and it's not showing the minimum fuel because it's not executed. 3.5, I need 2.4, that's 1 ton extra, and it's done. Then we continue for the briefing. So the instrument cross-checked, it's UTC 0525, QNH is 1008, reading 420, and yeah, I just copied the co-pilot site so we don't have to mess it around. That's a little trick. 1008, yes, that's the QNH. Reading 400, MFRA 1410, LiDAR exhausts are on. Master is my side, and standby instrument is set. There's going to be left hand departure, flaps 5, NDP1 in Wroclaw, so we go to 3000 feet before retracting flaps, and there's no merge turn, so in any case we go straight ahead to 3000 feet as MSA. Emergency briefing, it's done, and the taxi, we do expect to taxi runway 29er. We go all the way there to the right, and then taxi the Alpha onto the runway 29er. And the SID is Xidna 1 Kilo, and it's gonna go to Whiskey Roman 902, 903, Gatpo, and Xidna. And here is Whiskey Roman 902, 903, then Gatpo, and then Xidna. And there is restrictions. 902 has 6,000 feet above.
S76, 6, X-ray, Papa, cleared IFR2, Zerniki, as filed,
And
maintain,
6 above,
10,
903 is at level 100.
0, 0. Cleared IFR2,
But it's from Luna
Zerniki, as
1
filed,
kilo,
maintain, 1,
and
0,
then Xidna.
walk, 4,
So
7,
6,000,
0,
that's his
0,
initial stop
S76,
altitude.
6, X-ray, Papa.
I put it as hard altitude, and I go, let's say we clear to these SID, so I set 6,000 feet, and that's done. Since we've done this one, the briefing is completed, and once the briefing is completed, we go to the performance, and fuel weight balance, performance takeoff, Wroclaw, runway 26 right. Wind is actually 260 at 4 knots. Temperature is 20, not 80, 23 degrees Celsius, QNH 1008, 1008, and it's set optimum max 5, flaps 5. Usually use Ryanair flaps 5 unless we cannot auto and off. Takeoff weight from the FMC, it's 66.7, so takeoff 66,700. It's enter, and CG is 24-ish. Descent, and that's done. It doesn't give me the takeoff speed, so I just go to N1 limit. N1 limit. And sorry, executed. So I don't have any unexecuted stuff in here. Why is showing 16 degrees? I just said it's 20 something. And usually this airport we use around 35 degrees. Climb to no derate usually. Takeoff, flaps 5, dry speeds. And dry speeds 137, 139, 147. And 147 is set in the box. Since we have done this one, it looks like we're pretty much finished with this, and it
172, 1, X-ray, Quebec. Cleared IFR2, Eisenbu Edgestop as follows. Maintain 10,000, squall 4701.
VA completed.
Cleared IFR2, Eisenbu Edgestop as follows. Maintain 10,000,
So take a
squall
reference page to the next page of the
172, 1, X-ray, Quebec.
and one icebox. And then we checked automatic. If it's automatic 26k, and the speeds are 373947, and it's 147 is set. Stop trim, 5 inch and set, EFB airplane mode stowed, phones are off, lighting in the cockpit, doors are locked. We holding on to the doors, yes, I assume that we finished, so ground services. Esters retract, doors close, doors closed or not, it's the forward entering here, closed, and passengers seated, so usually we would wait for a couple of minutes just before pushback until they give us the signal. So we're ready to go. Basically we have to do the before start checklist below the line, which will consist of switching the packs, starting the engines, and yeah, I'm pretty much ready. At this moment I would call for the pushback. So, better pushback, request pushback.
Grounded cockpit, tow is driving up.
Chocks are removed, Esters are closed, so basically if we move out everything should be removed. And we're pretty much ready for pushback. In this airport we're gonna push back straight away, straight ahead. It's quite usual, they just leave you straight away and then you taxi yourself. And where is the pushback? That's the most common question in real life. Where is the pushback? Okay, the guy is coming, so he should be here in a couple of seconds. One thing we have to do is the checks below the line, so we basically will move to this panel, packs, EPU please. Yeah, I don't have the EPU, but I need to start the EPU.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, yes, that's the thing I forgot.
Departure cross check and all call, thank you.
Then you can hear the flight attendants talking between each other. EP is starting.
All right,
EP is
we've got
coming
you
up.
strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Yeah, just a couple of seconds. Sorry, forgot it totally. I forgot it. It should be started by the moment. Yeah, started. The pushback is connected. One thing, we have to remove the ground bar. So since then.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Yeah, you have to wait a second, woman. That's on buses. The bleed is on. And GPU disconnect, and it's gone. No, it's not gone, but yeah, it's disconnected. So we're ready for pushback. We release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And we'll be starting engines number 2 and 1 in sequence, starting with engine number 2. So we usually wait a couple of seconds until they start pushback, so we're not running the engines with pushbacks connected and everything, waiting for them to disconnect. Okay, right side is clear, left side is clear. We'll be starting engine number 2. And we have AP bleed, backs off. Let's wait a second, why is not running? Yeah, AP is on, air compacts are off, anti-clips are on, parking brake release transponder is out off, and this is open, this is closed. There is the pressure, so starting engine number 2. Yeah, now it's starting, and 2. Still getting used to this sim. Oil pressure should be coming in a second.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Oil pressure and 1. And we have minimum of 25%.
Disconnecting tow.
Parking
Stand
brake
by.
is set, and we go to idle. EGT will start increasing, and N1 will start pulling up. It should be around 20, 40, and 60. That's general rule. So N2 is increasing at 56. It should go to cutoff. Disconnect and hand signals, yes. 56, you heard the click. The light is extinguished, so start is cut out. Module number 2. We have 20, 40, 60, and engine number 2 is stable. Standing engine number 1, so clear left, clear right. Starting 1, and 2.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Oil pressure, we wait for 25%. Usually real airplane is going a bit quicker for that, so we have 25%. That's going to idle. Start lever to idle. EGT is increasing. N1 is increasing. It has some protection, but you have to watch it anyway. The hand signal on the right, she said. So yeah, there's the hand signal on the right. Yes, that's copied. And yes, 50%. Real airplane would be already stable, so that's a bit slower. 56%, starting it out. With engine number 1. Engine 1 is 20, 40, 60, and it's pretty much stable. So since then we can go to the overhead panel, put it on buses. AP is going to off. And what else? Probe heats are going to on. We have max auto, isolation valve auto, AP bleed is off, and then we go to flaps. Flaps 5 for departure, so flaps 5 are selected, and flight controls. Full forward, full back, to the left, to the right, and the rudders. Right, center, right. So left, center, and this part we do the before taxi checklist, which is already in here. Sorry, no, it's on the paper. Before taxi checklist generators are on. AP is off. Start switch is continuous. Good on. Start switch is continuous. Anti-ice is off. Air comes. So backs out on, bleeds on, and set. Isolation valve auto. Flaps 5 required, 5 selected, and we have green light in here. We always check it. Stop trim, 5 units required, and 5 units are set. Start levers idle 10, flight controls checked, and recall is checked before taxi checklist is then completed, and we can extinguish the lower DU page, and we usually get something like this. Request taxi, so the FO would request taxi displays. I will switch on the lights, and since we are clear for taxi, I will release the parking brake and clear left, clear on the right, and we taxi to runway 29. So yes, let's go. Actually, that's my bad. For a second, and I forgot one more thing, which is customize, config, and noses axis is going to yaw. Yes, that's my bad. Sorry guys, that's my bad. Now it should turn. Yes, it's not turning. So clear left, clear on right, and now we're going to the right. With this straight pushback, it's sometimes hard to taxi out, but 737 has nice turning radius, so it shouldn't be a big problem. And we're slowly moving. And that's it. So far so good, yes? Took me 34 minutes to taxi out, so That's gonna be a long day. And since I'm back on the straight line, I have to check the config, so I push the throttles full forward per second. There's no config sound, and then I can taxi. We leave the apron, so once we leave the apron, we do the before taxi take checklist, config, checked, flaps, 5, green light. Stop trim, 5 units required and set, and take a briefing, so gonna be packs out of lead zone. We have dry speeds are 373947 and it's set. And we go straight ahead 6,000 feet, which is set once, and there is set twice in the CU as well. And there is no emergency turn, it's reviewed. Then we're waiting for the cabin. Cabin is secure, so that's the checks to the line completed. And once we've done that one, we're waiting for the clearance to line up. And once the cabin is secure, and I do assume that it's secure, we do the checks below the line once we clear to line up the runway. And what I do, I will just stop before the runway and we read through the checks anyway. So I cannot basically do two things at the moment. I cannot taxi and look down when I'm single crew. The maximum taxi speed is 30 knots. I'm 24 now, so that's pretty much good speed. The thing you have to remember that you have to go below 10 knots for turning. That's quite slow one. Sometimes might get tricky. Oh, sorry, I need to grab some water as well. Yeah, that's pretty simple airport. Nice and easy. If you're operating from it, it's super simple. So that's nice. Okay, clear on the left. I have to slow down before turning, as I told you. That's 20 knots, 16 knots. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. It's clear on the right. We overshoot the line a bit as the nose wheel is behind us. Start turning, and it should be nicely on the line when we finish. I believe it will not, as it's my first day here, but yeah, kind of close enough. And basically, you always stop before the runway. Unless you have clearance for immediate takeoff and everything is done. And single crew, it won't be done anyway, so I will just stop in this position. And yes, parking brake set. And since we're gonna be clear to line up and take off, we're gonna go captain, we go landing lights on, taxi lights will stay on in this company. And I switch on the radar, and the FO will go. Strobe lights, LNAV, auto throttle will be armed, and transponder will go to TARA. That's done, and we will go with the before takeoff checklist below line MCP. And I checked if it's set, so it's set. Transponder TARA, and it's showing TARA in here as well. Strobe lights on and landing lights are on, so basically play for lineup and takeoff. I release the parking brake again and let's go. To be honest, I thought that's gonna be a bit quicker, but yeah, real life it takes like 30 minutes. And we do have two crews, so real life it's actually a bit easier than this one. And we do the two call checks, so confirm fleet lineup and take runway 29, and the FO would reply, I do confirm fleet lineup and take off 29. Clear on the left, clear on the right, and that's it. We wait, so we taxi the runway. Nice and smooth, 12 knots. And now let's go down, start turning, try to hit the center line, but it's quite tricky in this one. I find it's quite tricky at least. Yeah, there we go. That's the worst lineup I've seen in months. So, sorry for that, guys. It's kind of lined up. And are you ready? And the F will go ready. We say timing. We start timing. We go to 40%. At least 40%. Stabilized. So set takeoff thrust. We hit telegram once. The FO will call takeoff thrust set. Indications normal. Checked.
V1, rotate. Positive rate.
You know, and in this company, it's different plates.
400.
It's LNAV. Temperature's okay, so we don't make the antennas yet.
1,000.
At 1,000, I usually accommodate and check what's going on. She's nice at climbing. We just passed the MFRA, so we won't need it anymore. And it's height. Climb thrust is set as we're passing 1,500 feet. And where the hell are you going? Yeah, it looks like he will go back to the point. If I need, I can just update it once again at the top. Execute it. It's LNAV, N1, MCP split. And we're approaching 3,000 feet. So once we hit 3,000 feet, so elevation was 400, 3,400, we go to bug up. Bug up. And once we see the positive acceleration, we are about 5 bug, so air speed increasing. Flaps 1. And he goes speed checks. Flaps 1. And the flaps are retracting to 1. So we're waiting for the bug to pass 1. And we go speed checks. Flaps up. Usually at this point we get some further clearance like 1 to 0 or something, so I just set 1 to 0 today initially, sorry that's my bad. And I will still go like set, and the co-pilot, I don't know if I check this one, they said, and say 1 to 0 is checked. Flaps up, no lights, we go with initial VNAV, then we go set standard, set standard 3 times 1, 2, and the kill pilot, so it's starting slow, set, and after we passing 6,000 climbing 1 to 0 after the checklist. So once I call the after takeoff checklist, and the co-pilot will go to the top, check the pressurization, switch the start switches off. Switch the auto brake to off, then the gear goes to off. That's a common mistake actually, so off. Will it retract or not? Oh, it's going on. It's stuck. Okay, because I'm above the speed, so I'll just go to VS, reduce the VS to 1000 to reduce the speed to 210, and I have to go down again. Should be like down. Yeah, it's down. Sorry, that was my bad. I messed up a lot. To retract the gear speed has to be below 230, so that's my bad. sorry for that little inconvenience. And gear is up, lights extinguished and off. VNAV and after take the check to say compress. Yes, standard set, passing. Sorry, air compress. We check this 3.7, climbing and set. Start switch is, and we do it silently, so he doesn't have to read it. Flaps are up. Lights and altimeters. Altimeters have standard passing 90120 3 times set and standby instruments are set. And then we usually would get clearance to climb, say, 260, which is our cruising level. Yes, that's 260. Well, the cruising is 280, so I go 280. Set, 280 checked. 280 once, 1, 2, 3 times, and monitoring 1215. That's that one as well. And altimeters, so we're passing 108, climbing 280, 10 checks. So 10 checks, fuel is balanced. We have 5 tons and 4 pumps are on. Lights are coming off. AV is off. Air compress 4.2, climbing, and it's set. We check the leads are on, back support, and this is climbing. The recall, we check the recall, and then are we happy to release the passengers? The captain would do yes, just time to recall it. We go to cloud support, 10 checks are completed. At this point, the plane is basically flying itself. We have it set, and we can start thinking about the flight itself. So here I do have 280 and 280, there is a top of climb somewhere in here, top of descent. I could actually go even higher than 280, even let's say 310 or 320. Yeah, I got 310. Let's give it a try to go 310. If I do 310, yeah, we still have some level segment, so we can do 320. Yeah, but I just leave it 310 so I have some time to prepare in here. So as we request flight level 310, I set 310, check it once, 2 times, 3 times in the box, and monitor 115. And that's it so far. That was good departure, except the landing gear. Sorry for that. Find a way to do it a bit more smoothly, and yes, that's it. And usually the ATC on this kind of short flight will proceed to Idlun, that's the entry point of Gdansk, so after Sidna check if it does make sense. Yes, succeed now with Elon. Let's execute it. And yes, we do still have to some level segment. In this short flight, some captains would do the PA, some not. I would say yeah, it's not really easy. So back home, PA system. Is done. There's no flying PA or something. The level of PA, let's try it. Let's move on. Tailwind, it's actually flight 16 tailwind. We're landing 310631, so that's 40 minutes almost. That's something quite a long flight in here. do expect some shortcuts. We usually get some shortcuts on plan mode. Go to plan mode, and so since I'm in the plan mode, I can get a bit less of this scale here. Irlun. After Irlun, we usually go to. No, we don't do this one definitely. So we usually go Irlun and go Delta. I think was 902. Irlun then Iplan. That's the one that happens usually. So Irlun, Iplan, and check it. Does make sense. Yes, definitely does make sense. And it's executed. We're not gonna fly 4 approach, definitely. Not in this kind of light. And now the progress is saying, yeah, 25, so we land from 30 minutes from now. Go back to map. We have LNAV, we have VNAV. He is not really following to Irlun, but yes, there's some level segment. And are you going to turn to Irlun? Kind of. You turn into kind of this. Just go again to like Irlun Hotel. Exit. Go back to charts. And we can find the charts from Gdansk. This we're not going to use anymore as it's Wroclaw. This one is what also. This is what Katowice. And I think that's the one, the Gdansk Poland. We don't need to have the arrival, which is the ILS. So something ILS below DME Zulu localizer number 29. That's the one we're gonna be using. Can I turn it? Yeah, it's nice. I can turn it. Awesome. 80s is 12962. 12962. I will use 12962. 12962 on the box 2. And let's check what's going to go. Can you hear it now? I cannot hear it. Probably it's too far away yet. We'll just leave it here as it is. And I would normally transfer the controls to the co-pilot. So it's your controls, the radios, he'll fly the airplane. I will start preparing. And we do expect ILS DME Zulu, runway 29er in Gdansk. The localizer DME is IGDA, India Golf Delta Alpha 103. So IGDA 10287, IGDA, and I have 103. It's the same as in Wroclaw, so we just set the boxes 103, 103, 103 3 times, and the same chart. Fun approach track 289, 289. It's not much change over here, 289 and 289. It's set once and twice. The minimums, we actually checked the lights on 700. The minimums elevation is 489. I have told you 350. So we go to 500 here. What else we can set? Why are you shaking? What's the reason? The minimums, gyros, ILS, CATS C 706. That's not applicable as it's classed about, and RVR 550, 600 category C. So 706. 706, and we go to where is it? Minimums. 706, yes, 706, yes. 706, please. 706 is set. And again, I just copy it to the actual side. Control left. And he should have the minimums 706. We have WRO 720. Yeah. It should be basically set on both sides, so I just give him 706. 706 set on both sides, and that's it. What else? For landing I have selected arrival, I have the runway, we have 700, 800 to go, 800 to burn off, so 65, 3 minus 800 will be 64 plus 0.5, set it here, set the VLF plus 30, plus 5 knots, oops, like that, plus 5 knots. We usually do use autocorrect 3, I will try to calculate in a second.
1,000 to go.
Checked, 1,000 to go. We can stay in VNAV as it's less than 1,500. That's still acceptable. And once we pass the flight level 300, we go to flight level 10. Can I hear the AGs now? We usually don't use COM1, but I just don't know how to use the 80s. 65 active. 620 as the old frequency. 620. 615. That will work. But whatsoever, that's basically it's mostly set. And one more thing, we do actually, this is Ryanair thing, we use fix runway 29er. It will automatically go to Gdansk. We still have 120 miles. We use rings 10 and 4 unless we are in IFC conditions, and 10-4 you see the rings in here. And basically we have how many? 40 miles to top of descent, 14 miles, and we request descent. They usually give us descent to level 100 to 120 at this point. So the flight level 120 is set. Actually set, 120 is checked, and we go to alt int, which will start descending with 1000 feet. Short flight, so we usually don't brief on descent and climb, but it's a very short flight. We're passing 300, we go back to bank and go 25. Let's back to 25, and we do the briefing. So are we ready for briefing? And yes, that's the threats for this approach is that we're going to be briefing during descent. Otherwise, it's quite simple. And we go to the descent page. Descent is set, we have 250 below flight level 100. That's the usual thing we use. Sometimes we use different things, but depending on the airports, why is one entry. Yes. This. Interesting. What if I set 250? Okay, I just left it 240. The forecast, we usually put the winds in. I will set the descent wind, and transition is set to 80. That's the Polish transition altitude. Executed at level 100, let's say. The wind will be 220 by, let's say, 30 knots. That's the flight plan actually. It's 30 knots. Executed. And it will recalculate the descent path. So descent set, forecast is set. For arrival, we don't have any specific arrival, so we go from EPLAN, then Golf Delta 902, 941, which is FAF, actually fine approach point, at 3000 feet. Not altitude, then we descend to minimum, so 706, if we go for green, so 706 on the chart, 706. And 706 on the FO side as well, and that's all set. In case of misapproach, we're gonna press toggle once, Toga, go around flap 16, segment transport, break PR 400, we go LNAV or heading select or whatsoever. This is straight ahead to tweet out with aspect. So we can use any mode in this one. And then we evaluate it. For landing, we have 1 ton 100 to burn. If you agree with me, yes, 1 ton 100. So 65.2, 64.1, 64.1. Direct flaps 31.47, 1% plus 5. And autobrake is 3. And then we go to home. Performance landing, Gdansk, runway 29er, 250 dry, wind, I put 0, I don't know the conditions, so I just put 0. Temperature should be around 20 degrees, the worst case scenario, no wind, a bit colder. Fuel age is measured to 8. Flaps 30, auto, off, all non-auto, no credit, the landing rate is 60 per 100. 64, 100. It's entered, addition is 5 knots, and the VREF 30 plus 5, 152, so 147 plus 5, that totally makes sense. And we do need autobrake 2 to stop, we can use autobrake 3 to vacate via the taxiway. Yeah, that one's very vacate via first taxiway, next taxiway, and we're not good at this tracks yet. I will have to try it or at home. Yep, there is the chart. So we do expect to vacate via Charlie 2, then Charlie 1, and very short taxi. We usually use 10-10. And do you have any questions? If the FO doesn't have any questions, we go to the descent checklist, and descent checklist is press station, landing altitude 500 is set. Anti-ice is off, it's not required, there's clear conditions outside. Approach with fuel is discussed, we do have 1 ton extra, and ISL bugs are checked and set, VRF 31, 7 minutes per 706, set on both sides. That's the descent checklist completed. Again, some captains would do the PA, some wouldn't. I just leave this alone. And we just monitor descent. And we switch on the seatbelts approximately 15 minutes before landing. We have 26.06, it's still 20 minutes. We can take a look inside what it looks like. It doesn't look like Flight Simulator 2020, classic aircraft. This is really nice, it's really cool. I'm really interested in this. So we go back. Pretty sure I could check the positions. So the map. And there we go. Is it loading? No. Doesn't look like it's loading. No, it's loading. Yes. It's not Poznan, it's Bydgoszcz. That's our alternate airport, and it's just down there. Just down there. That's the airport I did my first flight in 737, so it's quite cool. I did like it. We go back, we go to the charts, and yes, we prepare for the outlets. And the B, outlets, Yankee. I did prepare for Zulu. Where is it? It's Yankee. The Zulu is going to be on this side. Oh, that's X-ray. That's Zulu. Nice. So we're nicely sending. We have 7 minutes landing. Everybody would be sleeping this kind of flights anyway. We don't need logo as daylight already. And yes, she is looking good, I guess. I won't drop the gear again. My bad. Sorry, my bad. Flew some XPlane, not XPlane, but the FSX. I had the, I think it was PMDG, but PMDG was not even close to this one, and that's the freeware one. So that's impressive. That's honestly impressive. And if we're descending and I did idle on top again at the same point and execute it, the VNAV should calculate the path again when the wind is now. And I set 100 was 220 by 30, and it's 230 by 30. Pretty much the same as expected. So what else we can do? Not much, huh? We could possibly speed up to 280. It might give me some extra time, but yeah. Still 15 minutes, the seatbelts are on. And we're going down. Real nice. And listen, that's my first video, first flight, sorry for the mess. And I'm still learning. I hope you will like it. If you have any questions, suggestions, whatsoever, just leave the comments. And so next flights I will try to do the live maybe and go just streaming, but I was a bit scared to mess up yet, as I'm not good in the sims. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Why is it? Why the hell is going on? Hot job. Okay, nice one. Nice. Nice. It shouldn't open the reverses, but yeah, whatsoever. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll try to answer them. And yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Hope you will like it. And below 100, we go to the stellar cockpit. That's it. Nice. The cockpit itself is really nicely done. It's really well done. I like it. I like it. It has these small little things like PBEs or everything. Just wonder if I can pass the door. Yeah, there's the viewing point. Ah, nice. Awesome. Awesome. Can I get through? I can't. It looks empty, but yeah, whatever. Let's go back. In my awesome seat. Okay, so 14,000 feet, I would usually get the clearance to descend at the same time. 8,000 or 7,000 these airports. And can I get the 80s?
Gdansk.
Oh, there is.
Gdansk Lech Walesa information Mike. 500 Zulu weather. Wind 200 at 8, visibility 10. Sky conditions 3,100 few, temperature 20, dew point 12. Altimeter 2979.
20.
Arriving runway 11. Departing runway 11.
2979.
Advise on initial contact you have Mike.
That's 10-8. 10-7 actually. It's 10-7.
Gdansk Lech
10-7. So we do prepare for 10-7. 10-7. Not inches. Who the hell is using inches? Are you guys really using inches in States? 10-7. And here I do prepare 10-7. And we use, some of us will set 10-7 on the standby already. So 10-7, prepare it. 10-7, go back to standard, and then you hit the standard button and change them to 10-7. And that's it. So far so good. With descending speed is 250, that's 250 decreasing as idle point. it's 250 below. Yes, it is to econ. It's no restriction, but it's 4000 problem. The next thing to do is 10 checks. We usually do 10 checks when passing flight level 100, but you can do it actually a bit early if you are expecting to be in rush or in hurry or whatsoever. You just do the 10 checks and get it done. So the pilot flying would set passing 110, descending to 80, 10 checks, and then the co-pilot will do 10 checks. So fuel is balanced. And check the quantity, 4 pumps on, lights are coming on, go, landing lights, turn off lights, and taxi light is a signal complete land, so we'll leave it off. Angle bank is 25, we check it's 25, air compress is 4.0, descending, and it's set, we check the deceleration again, it's on, and seatbelt sign is on. So passenger side is on, recall checked, and we give the cabin crew 10 minutes landing, 10 minutes EA. And the 10 checks are done. At this stage we usually would get descent clearance to descend to 4,000 feet. So we set 4,000 feet. So set, 4,000 is checked. And then we do altimeters. If we have the altitude set, we can go to 107, 107. And 107 on each side as well. We're passing 10,000, descending to 4,000, standby instruments are set, and there are no flags, and I can switch on the approach mode on the standby instruments as we are expecting the ILS. The airplane is flying 240, very nice, and that's done. What else I can say? Yeah, 240, but once he gets 15 knots below, he will have some power anyway, so in VNAV you can forget it, but okay, you pilot flying, so you shouldn't, but if you forget it, we will do it for you. And we have landing at 25, so we're landing in 9 minutes. Since we have the QNH, we can do the frisk, but yeah, we cannot do the frisk because we still don't have the frequency here. We wait for a second and back, app, charts. Nice, have a chart. I'm done. Looks like pretty much I've done everything. And charts, home, performance. Yes, I have new data, so brakes 3 still gives me quite nice landing performance. Just leave it like this. Nav tab, charts. And usually, once we are approximately 25 miles, it will start showing blinking. And once we have it, we can do frisk. So frisk stands for frequencies, and we have 10.3 ILS, 10.3 ILS on both sides, 10.3 ILS in here, and we'll check it on the chart, 10.3. India Golf Delta Alpha, India Golf Delta Alpha is identified. Rings are in, so we go to range rings, running 29, 10 and 4, that's the standard rings today. Idents, India Golf Delta Alpha, India Golf Delta Alpha, and India Golf Delta Alpha 3 times. Standby instrument set, we have approach and the QNH, and courses we have 287, 287, 289 actually, yeah, that's S change, flight time, and the plate is saying 289, yeah, I go 287, so it matches the FLC, so we don't get the warnings. And frisk is completed, approach checklist, altimeter instrument set and cross checked, and approach aids checked and set. Next is landing checklist, we've pretty much done everything. The plane will start slowing down soon as we are approaching decel point, and at this point we usually get clear for approach, and once we get clear for approach we go to 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet, so set, 3,000 checked, and once we get clear for approach we go to progress page 4. In here to monitor the cross-track errors, deviations, everything applies in here. Drag required, and we can deal with drag in two types, so we can go either speed brake or flaps. In this case, we're still far away, so I can press speed brake. Does work? Yeah, it does work. It shows that we are high, but we're still not going into the runway, but we're 90 degrees, so it will get back on profile soon. Yes, we are on speed. I restore the speed brake. I can leave it armed. Some captains will leave it armed in this place. And that's it so far. Clear for approach. We have correct sensing, so this on the correct side. We are still too high, so we can arm the WRO yet. So warlock armed, and we can start flaps. So speed check, flaps 1, speed checks, and he will say flaps 1 just when the light is going to green, and there is flaps are 1, so flaps 1, flaps 5, speed checks, and he goes to flaps 5 once the pointer is at 5. The plane is descending. It's quite on profile, a bit too high, but it will get it. I'm sure it will get it. If I'm not sure, I will just go to level change and give it a speed brake, and I can approach. I'm the approach once we are 1 dot in. So now we are 1 dot in-ish. Approach mode armed. Polo captured. Runway heading is going to 287. 287, 287, Polo capture. There is single channel flag that's totally correct for this stage of flight, and yes, the license is coming back. Polo captured, runway heading 287, glides up captured, miss approach altitude 3000 feet, and we double check it on the plate always. We're not going to place this after miss approach, and it is 3000 feet. Actually, it's the old plate, but the new one is saying 3000, so it's not 3000. It's a database. I have to get the new plates, so sorry for that. My bad. On my iPad, it's showing the correct one. And usually we contact tower in this place, and first contact they would give us clear to land or not clear to land. I said, yeah, let's if we clear to land, we go on the taxi flight once, so we remember we clear to land. And we are at FAP, final approach point 3000, no flags, and everything is going nicely down. We are still on idle, but it's still okay for the pace of flight. And usually we would go like 190 at this place instead of 170, but single crew, I don't want to overspeed it too much. And the next thing we're gonna do is drop the gear at 4 lines, which is marked by ring, and
2500
is 6.2. This call out, we check if the terrain is here. The terrain is gone for some reason, so terrain on, and we say terrain noted. Yeah, the runway should be in sight. That's there, it's just there. Somewhere. I just saw it, but it's gone. Yeah, that's the runway. 2 pappies, that's okay. And as we're approaching 4 miles, I go a bit early, so cue down, flaps 15, and landing checklist to flaps, and he will go cue down, speed checks, flaps 15, and landing checklist. So he will go start switches to continuous, and I arm the speed brake and landing checklist, 2 flaps, start switches, continuous, continuous. Recall is checked, speed brake arm light, landing gear down to green, auto brake 3 sets, holding flaps, so speed checks, flaps 30,
1,000.
speed to +5, flaps 30, green light, landing lights are on, landing checklists are completed, and basically the thing to do is just landing. So I do disconnect the auto throttle, and yeah, good luck.
500.
Stabilize, continue.
400.
Yes, sir.
Approaching minimums.
Checked. Slightly above, sorry, not bad. This.
Minimums.
Continue.
200.
Checked. We don't have this call out, so we have to switch.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes
10.
up. Reversers normal. I check the reversers and the auto brakes. And 100. Yeah, I just missed the exit. Test this one.
80 knots.
Checked. Manual braking. And yes, sir. 60s. Reversers are stalled. I don't know if there is taxiway, so I just turn back in here. So we have to nicely slow down to 10 knots or less, and we just turn back on the runway. 737 has a nice nose-wheel steering, so it's super easy to turn back. And as you see, I just use it like half of the runway to turn back. So it's super nice, really super nice. Okay, then we just vacate. I don't know if I did long landing, so I didn't manage to vacate, or I did wrong calculation, but yeah. Usually if you pass the exit, you just turn back and go back to it, or take the next one. Okay. Okay, once we vacate the runway, the captain will go back to the terrain and switch off the landing lights. And usually the FO would go do the rest, but as I'm single crew, I would just stop for a second. I set the parking brake, and yeah, his parking brake is set, and I do the FO stuff. So he will go to start switches off. That's going to steady. MCP is going to any altitude plus 100, and this is going to 100. Sorry, I don't know why it doesn't work, but it's going to 100, and the transponder is going back to standby. And pretty much we're done, except the auto brake, and we usually start the APU at this point anyway, because it's short taxi, and now I can continue taxiing. This is off, and flight directors off on this side as well. Clear on the left, clear on the right, and we do taxi distance 1, 2, push up we can, so clear left. We're gonna stand next to the one think it's, yeah, silver thingy. Stand 1-2, stand 1-2. And yes, that's the usual stand we take. Stand 1-2, clear on the right, clear on the left, and we taxi into the stand. And once we taxi into the stand itself, we usually switch off the lights, so we're not blinding the crew. And the other thing we do is to, oh, sorry, but that's my bad. We usually switch off the engine, but as I'm single crew, I just leave it. And I taxi into the stand first. Yeah, I just don't have any guidance here, so I stop. And I will set the parking brake. EPWR is going on boss. And the engines are cut off. Cut off. It's cut off. Those are going to off. Cabin crew, disarm slides, open doors. Welcome to Gdansk. And the other thing is to wait for 20% and to 20% and 2. There we go. The beacon lights is going off. And at this point we usually get already 12 power. So ground services, set chocks, GPU is connected, so GPU is on, APU is off. And we open the doors. Forward entry, open, aft entry, forward cargo, aft cargo, and thrusters extended. And at this point we usually go with the transit shutdown checklist if we want to do the second flight. If not, we do the full shutdown checklist. Yes, I'm finished for today. Usually we will do the second segment, but once we finished, I go to the full shutdown, so I switch off the IRS. Fuel damper will pop off. Switch off the fuel pumps. This will stay on. The emergency lights will stay on until the last passenger. Hydraulic pumps are off. Packs will be off. This will be open. The lights are set. Transponder is standby. Full shutdown checklist. So fuel pumps off. Yes, fuel pumps are off. Electrical on. Ground power. Fasten belts off. Window heat is off. Yes, my bad. Window heat should go off, and window heat should go off as well. Anti-ice is off. Electrical pumps are off. Voice recorder is auto. Actually, air compacts are off. Engine bleed on. Apron bleed off. XO lights we have steady. And start switch is off. Auto brake off. Speed brake down detent. We don't check actually if it's down detent here. Flaps up, no lights, and we still have flaps, so I have to cycle them and give them some hydraulic power as well to retract the flaps. Parking brake set, start lever cut off, weather radar off, and CVRCB, which is behind here, stays in as there was no incident. And the next one, once everybody leaves, we secure checklist. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and sorry for some mistakes. Hope you enjoyed. I'll fly some more now, and if you like it, I keep posting. Thanks a lot. Stay safe, fly safe. See ya.